Hello and welcome to the hard sell, where a stick in the swill-bucket rattles back. Over the course of this series, we've occasionally gone overseas. We've looked at commercials from America, Australia, Hong Kong, Mercury, and even France, where they don't even speak some English what like us do right, they do that French. Our stop today is Canada, where they speak both. Every country has its prevailing stereotype, and Canada's is that everyone there is faultlessly polite and considerate. There are worse sweeping generalisations to have to labour under, I suppose. If it really is true, it could lead to a certain tension in their advertising industry, because adverts really aren't polite and quiet and equivocating. Basically the opposite, in fact. Adverts need, at the bare minimum, to be assertive and insist on the rightness of their own message. The supposed Canadian instinct to just be nice is anathematic to the form. This is discounting the French Canadians, of course. They're French. They're perfectly capable of being nice, but they don't get all weird about it. We're not in French Canada, though. In fact, we're in Newfoundland, where they have their own language that's half Irish and half polar bear.
It's not too long ago that they opened here, what I mean, I suppose business is business, I suppose, like everything else, right? But I don't know why they're closing, because, I mean, there's that many stores around now, there's not even funny anyway, right? So, but other than that, I wouldn't be able to tell you, but why? Because, I mean, like I said, it's not too long ago it opened.
There, thunder in winter were some savage way, but my son didn't we see it through, me old cock. As a Cornishman, I can relate. We too have turned our regional accents and dialects into an impenetrable code designed to frustrate outsiders.
Yeah, I seen him up Raleigh. Well, last time he had Raleigh, and I'm not sure you're now, are they?
Yeah, me answer, where you to, and whose own story I've made. If we have to tolerate you, Emmets, we deserve to get some amount of fun out of it. So anyway, Canada is a land of contrast and what have you, and Newfoundland is mostly a land of cold and Irish heritage. The adverts we're about to see ran on CBC in that region in 1989. Not sure exactly when, but towards the end of the year, when it was really starting to bite. Let's have a time.
The most popular way to get over the common cold just got better.
Lying down until it goes away?
Yamaha Phaser is now the new Phaser 2.
Oh, I get it. It's a pun. Because it's cold. And that's common in Newfoundland.
The world's most popular snowmobile now has a wider ski stance.
Snowmobiles. First thing that comes into my mind, for whatever reason, when I hear the word snowmobile, is a line from Forgot About Dre.
No boats, no snowmobiles, and no skis.
Yeah, that one. Where he's mocking his inferiors for being too poor to afford one, or a boat, or some skis. Luxury items, that's the point. Dre frames them as luxury items. And to him they are, because he's from the streets of... Yes, thank you. And while it does snow in south-central LA, it's not often, and usually comes to less than an inch that melts within an hour or two. The good doctor doesn't have much everyday use for a snowmobile, is what I'm saying. Luxury items. Well, this is Newfoundland, motherfucker. And getting on for winter. A snowmobile's not a brag to these people. It's how they get to Sainsbury's. Or Safeway or whatever. Well, I'm exaggerating. They're not actually street legal or anything. They're not everyday items outside of severely isolated communities. But they're not Dre's girth-enhancing luxuries either. So, with that in mind, here's a dealership advert, much like one you'd see for your local Ford or whatever, but not for cars. Because a car's not going to get you very far in hip-deep snow.
Now has a wider ski stance to break up congestion, a longer track for better traction and comfort, and power to relieve that stuffy feeling.
As you can see, it's the fun aspect that's inevitably the most important and heavily highlighted, a bit like you see a sports car being promoted further south. But, do you see what's missing here? Aspiration. There's no shots of slinky, shoulder-padded rich people patting the seat and smirking. No loving slow-motion footage of the glistening chrome shot almost exactly like Cinemax soft porn. No sultry saxophone music. No attempt to sell these things as part of an opulent lifestyle. Further south, you might see all these techniques and more used to sell these exact things. But no Newfie's going to fall for that. Here, in their natural habitat, function beats form, and so that's what it's sold on, albeit that function is reduced to fun, with cheery action shots and pun-laden copy. They might be damn expensive. It takes a ton of rubber and metal to make one, so they don't retail for less than $5 Canadian grand. But up here, they're not just rich people's toys. Or rather, if they are, the point at least is to actually play with them, rather than simply brag about having them.
To get over this winter's cold, take 2, Phaser 2, and call your Yamaha dealer in the morning.
Contact your local Yamaha dealer.
Well, this doesn't look Canadian. What's that blue field where the sky should be? What is this, the Chris Burden Summer Roadshow? Or has this guy just given up and driven out to the middle of nowhere to let the vultures take him? Turkey vultures, naturally. In which case, why bring the dog? Some Egyptian pharaoh bollocks? Anyway, it doesn't matter, he's just the excuse for the advert to be hanging around while all these tankers go by.
You know which premium gasoline exceeds BMW performance standards, recognized as the toughest in the industry? Introducing new Ultramar Supreme, a gasoline that keeps injectors immaculate and valves deposit-free. Just imagine what it can do for your car.
Oh, I get it. Dipshit ran out of petrol and had to wait for the right tanker. By which I mean the correct brand, and driven by someone with a benevolent attitude to this kind of arsing about.
Ultramar Supreme. More energy, more drive.
Sorry, turkey vultures. No human meat today. So you know how I mentioned that Canadian stereotype as being polite and considerate to an almost eerie degree? And how that might have an interesting effect on the advertising? Well,
when it's time for a bite to eat, our whole family loves the fresh, crisp taste of Purity cream crackers and milk lunch biscuits. They're so good, everyone loves them.
How Canadian can you get? So in case you missed the message, let me reiterate. We like eating these crackers. These crackers are nice. They are crispy and tasty and old-fashioned. We like these crackers.
With some jam or a bit of butter. Purity crackers are always fresh, always crisp, because they're made right here, just the way we like them.
You know how cannabis is legal in Canada? Well, it actually wasn't in 1989, but they don't seem to need it anyway, judging by this.
Just the way we like them. Enter
Got whiplash from that jump cut.
Purity's beautiful kitchen of appliances contest today.
If you're going to make adverts like anodyne, you can't just slam appendices on the end of them like that.
Details at participating supermarkets.
If you're a fisherman looking for a dependable diesel,
And let's face it, who isn't?
a Volvo Penta from Bell Diesel and Industrial is the answer.
Yes, it's another very local proposition here. Gotta catch them fish, that's the economy. And to do so most efficiently, you need a good motorboat with a premium engine. Preferably a diesel. Your car and snowmobile, in fact, probably use diesel as well, if you can afford it. It goes further than petrol, you see, making it very useful in places like Newfoundland, where there can be vast tracts of empty snow in between settlements.
Available from 18 to 500 horsepower and backed by over 75 years of experience.
So I can't say I've seen an advert like this anywhere else before in my life. By which I mean an advert actually for an engine, rather than the surrounding vehicle. I've seen car adverts that show the engine, usually in soft focus with lots of backlighting, but not very often, and always inside the car. Even here I'd have expected an advert for the entire boat, rather than just the motor. But that's just because I don't know shit about motorboats. This is just how it works.
Volvo Penta diesels are built to meet the demands of commercial fishermen.
Apart from that, the advert itself is pretty much the standard local dealership style. Quantel manipulated still images and a friendly regional voiceover. You could substitute Volkswagens or something and it would still look appropriate.
Bell Diesel and Industrial has the parts and factory-trained service people to keep your engine in top condition.
I appreciate the funky disco backing music as well.
At Bell Diesel and Industrial, 14 Austin Street in the O'Leary Industrial Park, Volvo Penta diesel service is second to none.
Do the hustle.
The good taste of ever-sweet margarine.
A book at bedtime.
Man, how come your cookies always taste so good?
Because they're cookies. Cookies taste good. It's not rocket science. And clearly she's not so senile she's making them with tarragon and dog food yet, so basically you're solid.
Well, I suppose it's the special ingredients.
Special ingredients?
Yes, special like you.
They're made of little kids?
And special like my ever-sweet margarine.
Ever-sweet?
That's what it says. Made in Newfoundland, so this is yet more local heroics. It's an appropriate name, actually, Ever-sweet, because this is like watching a fairy liquid advert while being force-fed a pound of icing sugar.
Ever-sweet margarine makes everything taste so good.
They sure are good, Nanny.
Well, that's an awkward hug between strangers if I ever saw one. Which I did once.
Ever-sweet margarine, the taste Newfoundlanders love.
Well, this is a province whose cuisine consists of boiled beef, salted cod and moose jerky, so take that as you will. Not that I can cast nasturtiums, pasties and stargazy pie, but still.
Over the years, the name Safari has redefined Skidoo performance on the trail.
And we come full circle. Very fast and very loud, with a sort of brrrr noise.
This year, the new Safari L series redefines performance, and you can find them at your local Skidoo dealer.
Skidoo is almost a genericized trademark for snowmobiles. Here are the 1990 models. Another parallel with cars. Again, it's much like a car advert, albeit more on a local dealership's level than the multi-million Tony K extravaganza.
The new stylish Safari Ls feature your choice of 4 colors and 3 twin-cylinder engines.
Compared with the Yamaha advert at the other end of the break, in this case form and function are roughly equals, and aspiration does creep in more visibly than on the previous one. Its luxury status is explicitly alluded to in places.
An all-new suspension system offers the best handling and comfort in Skidoo history. Your local Skidoo dealer would love to show you the luxurious new Safari GLX.
Skidoo clearly is at a higher end of the market than Yamaha, or at least it feels like it's pitching itself there. Still, in the end, it comes down on the side of function, or rather, performance.
Safari LX and Safari L, along with other 1990 Skidoo models. Skidoo 1990, our edge is performance.
Probably not a good sign that they couldn't find a dealer to display, though. Well, that was certainly Canadian, by which I mean half freezing cold and half stultifyingly polite and nice, and concerned with hunter-gatherer activities. Quite a reminder of how many different kinds of lives there are, even within our English-speaking capitalist system first world. When it all comes down, these people will probably last longer than most, only because they know the difference between an inboard and an outboard engine. I, for one, welcome, etc., etc. We stand on guard for thee.
You might think it's goofy, but the man in the moon is an oofy, and he's sailing on to glory, away in the golden dory. He's sailing on to glory, away in the golden dory. Codfish Dan from Newfoundland, he dreamt that he had 3 wishes, and he took Mars and all the stars, and he turned them into big fishes. He said the sky was much too dry, and he made a wavy motion, and the moon like a boat began to float upon the starry ocean. And you might think it's goofy, but the man
You just sat through a Bob the Fish production. Nice! If you haven't already, you absolutely must check out bobthefish.org.uk. Literally hundreds more videos not unlike that one, adding up to days worth of entertainment and all absolutely free. But if you're not a cold-hearted skinflint, you can always support us on Patreon. For as little as anything at all, you can make programs like the one you just watched possible in the first place, and become eligible for bonus material such as glimpses of the book I'm writing about the BBC, monthly riffings on random commercial breaks, the complete archives of the angry political satire magazine Two Sons, and even the odd very occasional bonus video essay unavailable anywhere else. If nothing else, you should prevent me from starving and or freezing to death in the foreseeable future, so that'll be nice. No pressure or anything. Well, UK, you make it what it is.